Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome to a new game on this channel. This is Rebel Inc. Escalation. In case that title sounds a little familiar, that's because it is from the same developers as Plague Inc. Evolved. It is, well, it's sort of sharing some mechanics, but it's quite different in others. So let me introduce you to the game. What you do in this game is you stabilize a region. It's a sort of post-war scenario where the war has ended. The region is now, well, it's not stable. That's where you come in. And there is likely to still be some insurgency, some resistance. And you're there to make sure that everybody can get along peacefully. It's not entirely out yet. The campaign mode, the scenarios, and the speedrun are not enabled, but the main game is. And you can pick all sorts of different maps with all sorts of different challenges. I'm going to go for Mountain Pass because Saffron Fields, the first map, can be quite easy. Now, once you have the map, you then get to pick the governor. And these give you a sort of different benefits. For this particular playthrough, I'm going to go with the civil servant. Others might give you a different perspective on the game. For example, the economist gets the budget that you have to work with, that you get to buy infrastructure with, for example. They get it in one big swoop. They get it for a whole year. Normally you get this drip fed. The general is one that gets quite a bit more powerful military options. And then we have a whole bunch that I currently have not yet unlocked. I'm going to go with the civil servant. I'm going to go without any celebrities. These are other factors that can help with your effectiveness. So it doesn't really... Well, I don't really want to go into detail in this video about all of these guys and what they can do and how they can help you, because I think you can do a whole separate video on that. Next, normal difficulty, and then you can name your operation. You can either type the operation yourself, or you can let the game sort of randomly generate it. And it's not exactly particularly inspired. I mean, it doesn't have to make sense. We got Operation Volcano Win, Operation Lightning Blade, Operation Red Loader, Operation Romeo Snapdragon. It doesn't make sense. Now, if I'm stabilizing a region, I wouldn't exactly want to call it Deceitful. I want to call it City Chaos. Yeah, that sounds great. City Integrity. Operation approved. Welcome to Mountain Pass. The invasion is over. Combat forces have been withdrawn. Despite initial hopes of change, the region is unstable and the population feels neglected. Operation City Integrity must stabilize the region. The local government has asked you to lead an operation to stabilize the region. You have full responsibility for all civilian and military matters. First mission or first objective is to set up your HQ. It'll be the central civilian and military headquarters for the operation. Transport links are helpful, so they would recommend not exactly putting it somewhere over here in the hills. Usually it's easier to put it in or near a town. I'm just going to deploy it inside here in this sector. This is called Echo Victor. Now, what you might be familiar with from Plague Inc. are all these sectors which have different icons. Rural, it has a highway. This one's rural, this one is remote. These are urban. They all have their own special perks. Now I'm going to let the game run for a little bit because it still has to introduce some elements, and it seems to do this for every map. Here we go. To win, stabilize 100% of the region. And that is this big stability bar on top. This thing, as far as I've seen, can only go more and more full. It cannot be drained. Now, what you see over here is that I have 93 supporters. And I have 17,219 hostiles. So let's just say that I'm not particularly well liked in this region. In order to make sure that that is going to go up, so I have more supporters and fewer hostiles, I will have initiatives. They let you influence the region, increasing your support level or increasing military capabilities. Your budget is limited, and you can see your budget down here in the bottom, it's 50. Choose carefully. Think about what will make the biggest impact to the region. Now, once you click here, you're going to get this overview. This is the general overview. Amount of time, amount of funding. What's my support level? Currently, nothing. What's my corruption risk? This is important. The more you spend, the more your inflation goes up, but also the higher the chance of corruption. And corruption works as a destabilizing factor, hence this little bar drawn from support level to corruption. You got a couple of tabs over here: civilian, government, and military. And in these tabs you might really recognize the elements from Plague Inc. because it's these it's these hexagons. And if I click one of them, if I want to buy services discussions to understand their education, healthcare, water and sanitation requirements, I click buy and I then get new options. Very Plague Inc. indeed. It's definitely the sim developer, as you can tell from this. Now, what I want to do is start up with a couple of basic necessities. I want to give these people water supplies, a minimum standard of clean drinking water. And as you can see, once I have done that, it's going to try and deploy that to the zones, and it has currently deployed that to 0 out of 27 zones. So in every region over here, it's going to try and deploy that. Now, over here we have this little hammer, and if I click on the region, it's going to show you that Keres has constructed or is constructing rather the water supply. I think it's being repaired because it's generally not immediately spawned. But this is how this will work. Now, there is a loss condition. It's not just waiting for this bar to fill up and you win the game. No, unfortunately not. The reputation bar here on the right shows you how long you have until you lose. The reputation is limited, and if you decrease your reputation by losing sectors to insurgents, which at some point will spawn, you're going to lose the mission. You're going to lose the operation. Now, in this case, I want to do something else as well, because I'm not just going to invest in civilian, I'm also going to invest in government. I want to start early with fighting corruption. The corruption bar is already creeping up, and buying anti-corruption 1 decreases corruption gradually over time. So I want that. I can also get a local militia. Improves zone security, making it harder for insurgents to take control, but decreases support level. So this one is a bit of a two-edged sword. I'm not going to go with this yet. And then we have the district representatives. Assign city integrity, so that's the name of the operation, representatives to individual zones, so that they can work with the community leaders and gather reliable information on what is going on. This is very handy, because once you have this, you're going to learn what a particular area wants. And every zone has their own requirements. It has their own stuff that they care about. It could be jobs, it could be telecommunications, it could be infrastructure of the road type. Anything that they need, I will learn about. Now, one thing I don't want to do is spend too much of this budget too quickly. Once I do that, my inflation is going to go up. If my inflation goes up, that means that, for example, this would not cost 2, but 3 or 4 or even more. So, sure enough, spend, but don't spend it all at once. Now, I am working on deploying water supplies. I also want to deploy basic medical supplies, and I want to set up school regeneration so that school buildings which were destroyed are going to be rebuilt, and that I will start boosting support level. Especially among hostile population, fast to roll out. So this is a pretty quick way to start stabilizing regions. And that, you can see hammers popping up in all of these sectors, meaning that all of these areas are now working on building up, in this case, water. They're building, or they're getting their medical supplies, and they have district representatives being assigned. Local concern, reducing support by 4%, and they want education. Now that's fine, that's what I'm working on. And as the game now tells you, get civilian initiatives to increase your support level. That's what I just explained. So we have our first little bit going up. And ever so slightly, we are gaining stability. The amount of supporters for our operation are going up. Alright, I still have a decent amount of budget left. There's one tab that I haven't discussed yet, that's military. It's currently locked, because there's no real reason to deploy the military. But sooner rather than later, that opportunity will happen. Now, what else can I do in government? I can establish an outreach office. Establish a team to identify ways for city integrity to engage efficiently with different parts of the region. Slightly speeds up rollout of initiatives. I don't really think that this is that required yet, because at the moment I don't have that many initiatives which are being rolled out. What I can have is a PR and media office. Establish PR and media teams to clearly communicate city integrity's achievements in the region, control messaging, and counter attempts to stir up discontent. Significantly multiplies existing and future support level. So this is, as far as I can tell, best taken early on. You also have Foreign Relations Office. Sometimes you're going to have foreign nations which are very interested in seeing you fail. And that can be countered if you have a Foreign Relations Office, so that you can sort of push back. You also have international assistance, and this allows you to call in charities and NGOs, non-governmental organizations, which can help in stabilizing the region. I'm going to bring these guys in, but they do come with their own challenges. It's not that you open up your region to an NGO and they happily provide you with everything you want. It is going to be a bit of a bit of pushback here and there. Now, every region has their own stability bar. Currently, Echo Uniform is unstable. This one is still unstable. Once the bar is entirely full, it's going to be stable. And as I'm getting more and more intel about these areas, I can see that this region, Echo Whiskey, is troubled by lack of jobs. So, in this case, I would try to roll out additional jobs by going for development discussions. This will help me understand their economic, business, and job requirements. Now, since they want more jobs, I think that vocational training would help. Develop training and apprenticeships programs to upskill workers and provide access to a broader range of jobs. So hopefully that's going to stabilize this region, this one, a little faster. You can also click on the region overview, and you can see that it's not the only region which requires jobs. This one has a 22.61 concern for jobs. This one has a let's round it up, 48% concern of jobs. So this one really needs more jobs. And this is a rural area. In this case, I can invest in deploying the outreach office and then going for rural areas. Rural Outreach 1. Speeds up rollout of initiatives in rural zones. That is going to make this go a little faster. But as I'm spending, my corruption risk is going up. So that is something that I will have to try and counter with Anti-Corruption 2 or potentially effective procurement. Initiatives cause less corruption when funded. I'm going to get this to make sure that everything else that I buy in the civilian tab and the government tab is not going to cost me that much. Or at least it's not going to boost the corruption that much. Now, inflation is definitely going up. High inflation increases the cost of initiatives, so this is something I have to keep under control. Watch out for inflation. Inflation increases the cost of other initiatives. If inflation gets too high, wait for it to go down to avoid wasting money. Down here, bottom left, you can see there's 25% corruption, and there is currently 17% inflation, but it is going down. I'm not getting more and more and more inflation, I'm getting less. And this is when the fun starts. Insurgency rumored, military initiatives authorized. Insurgents are preparing to attack the region. Right, we're going to put a stop to that. And that means that I have to open up the military tab by going for deployment of coalition soldiers. This opens up a few more options. The coalition soldiers, they're fast and effective in combat, but can antagonize local population. That's one of the concerns. There's also another concern. That is that the coalition soldiers at some point will go home. So it's time to start training national soldiers early, because these take a lot more time to get trained or to get deployed than the coalition soldiers. So I'm going to deploy those. And I can also embed interpreters and guides with each soldier unit to help them communicate with local communities. Soldiers gather intel quicker and increase local support level. Let's go for that. Soldier training on the left of the screen. That's this little bar. The coalition soldiers are ready almost instantly. These guys take 1 month. These take 23 months left, that is. So they take 2 years to deploy overall. Now, I don't exactly have a region where I need to be deploying my coalition soldiers yet. And the only thing that they will probably do at this point is cause unrest. Because they will antagonize the local population simply by being there. So I don't really want to deploy them just yet. Now what I do want to do is train more of the government, more national soldiers. So deploy that. And get garrisons. Authorize construction of garrisons in zones with intel. Suitable locations will be identified over time. Insurgents reported in Gulf Lima. That is here. So it's time to throw in those coalition soldiers. Now, what you can see happening over here is that we have the soldiers, and you have these little triangles, the red triangles. That's the insurgents. To some extent, these guys can counter what's happening here. But at some point, they will try to flee. And when they flee, they're going to flee to any adjacent zone. That can be over there, it can be over here, here, or here. You don't exactly know which way they're going to go. So really the only way to actually get rid of these insurgents permanently is to encircle them and then push in. Which is not always easy. I've had groups which started out over there and I chased them across the map to, well, the edge of the world here. Or the edge of this map, that is. We also have a pop-up here. Site an Echo Romeo chosen for city integration or city integrity garrison. Yes. It's going to cost me 5. But garrisons can support other forces in combat and they will gather intelligence. So what's going to happen here is that if there is a fight in any adjacent area, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 zones, this garrison, this little base, will try to help out. And that's going to bolster the combat strength. Now the combat strength can be seen as this bar. And right now my guys are not doing well. They will never get completely defeated. I can pull them back, but that's going to make the insurgents grow even more effective. Because they go, aha, we won. And now they need help. And I can offer them help. I can offer them, for example, surveillance drones. I can also offer them airstrikes, but I don't have the budget for that. I'm going to wait a little bit for, there we go, for more budget. And get airstrikes. Provide significant combat bonuses to soldiers. Warning, civilian casualties are possible. Airstrikes work. But they also tend to sometimes miss. And when that happens, you're going to run into trouble. Now, Foxtrot uniform is now stable. This sector is steady. Regional stability just jumps to 13% and is still going up. Now, this is when you start with, what do I spend on? Because over here, everything seems to be going alright. I'm even gathering more green zones over here because I'm rolling out local initiatives in Charlie Papa. My soldiers, however, are not exactly winning this fight. The rest of the soldiers are still being deployed. But these regions, they're not exactly stable. They still need more infrastructure. So I'm now going to be looking at, okay, what do I need and where do I need it and how do I spend my budget? This is one of the most important elements of the game. What do you spend on? Now we have a pop-up over here. Charities are prepared to help. A number of major charities and NGOs are prepared to work with city integrity to stabilize the region. How will you allow them to operate? The game frequently gives you these options. You get one situation, you get 3 options, usually. I can give them full access. Allow them to operate without restrictions. They will provide free initiatives over time, which is nice, but each one will significantly increase inflation and corruption. Shit. I can give them limited access. They will follow bureaucratic processes to help them limit inefficiencies. You gain some free initiatives, but each one will slightly increase. So this is like the medium option. And then funding only and say, nope, you're not getting into the region. But you can give your money to me and I will dictate where it's going to be used. And that's what I'm going to help, or that's what I'm going to pick. I'm just going to get more money. Increases annual budget. Thank you very much to the NGOs. Now, seemingly the airstrikes are working because my bar is slowly filling up. Once it's full, I have won this fight. Now, as I mentioned, there's a risk that these guys will flow over to this area. So I'm going to deploy my new squad of soldiers over there, making sure that they cannot flee in this direction and approach the so far stable sectors of Echo Victor and Foxtrot Uniform. I don't want that to happen. Now, let's see. What do the regions want? They want more jobs. These guys want water. But jobs does seem to be the overarching problem at this point. So let's see what sort of options I have for them. I can give them development bank. Provides more jobs. Provides financial resources to help get businesses started and expand capacity. Yes. What else can I do to help these guys? Livestock development. Establish pastures and breeding programs to improve livestock agriculture. Provides more jobs. Yes. Can I help my soldiers out a little more? I can get combat reinforcements. Have garrisons liaise with deployed soldiers to reinforce them during during combat situations. Significantly increases combat bonuses that soldiers receive from garrisons. Yes, but I will first take this to make sure that I can deploy more national soldiers, because that's a 24-month waiting period again. Now, there's also this line between the soldier groups, and that means that this group is now supporting that group. And as you can see, the insurgents are running off. That means that they're not threatening these areas at the moment. Unfortunately, the locals are angry about the coalition soldiers. Despite interpreters, the presence of foreign soldiers is angering some of the local population and reducing your support level there. Try not to keep them in the same zone for long periods of time. The idea behind that is nice, but the problem was I couldn't exactly get these guys to leave, because they were in heavy combat. Now, so far you can see more and more stable regions being deployed. Echo Whiskey is well on the way. Echo Uniform not so much. Oh, corruption's rising, that's great. Corruption is reducing your support level by 5%. So I would need to do something more to fight corruption, like using anti-corruption 2. The insurgents have taken over this region, and that just cost me a little bit of reputation. Over here, they want a garrison. Yes, that's a good idea. It's a good location there. Because this also has a lot of neighboring sectors. Not that one, but that one's supported by this garrison. So this garrison is now also providing support for my coalition soldiers. And with that, these rebels are soon going to have to leave. But coalition deployment over soon. Great. Now at this point they're leaving the area. And they're moving into this sector. I kind of want to take this one back from them. And at the same time, I don't want to risk pushing out too far too fast, because that means that I might not be able to maintain control of the sectors. Okay, here we go. Coalition soldier tour of duty is over. I can send them home, increases my support level and boosts insurgent morale. Great. I can say, nope, you're going to stay around for one more tour of duty. 6 reputation cost, or 10 reputation cost for 2 tours of duty. I'm going to send these guys home and have that slot taken up by my newly formed national soldier group. And I will also buy another group. As for civilian, let's see what the zones need. They're still very much concerned over jobs. New livestock breeds are being introduced. Let's see, can I do anything else to help them? With their jobs, that is. Helps job market. Crop development provides more jobs. Do that. Yeah, withdrawing coalition soldiers so soon might have been a mistake. Potentially. I'm not sure exactly how well it's going to go. Right now we have this soldier squad over here. They are engaging the enemy and they're being supported by this group over here. Okay, what's this? Pomegranate juice factory proposed. They want to build a pomegranate juicing factory which will create a large number of jobs in the zone. It can be shipped across the region and to export markets. I can just say, nope, it's not going to happen. There's a 32% chance that with this one it'll increase corruption and that it'll have more costs. Or I can just say, yeah, go ahead. It's going to only cost me 3. It's going to increase corruption by 68% chance, and there's a 71% chance that the costs will be overrun. Still, it's a fast way to make sure that I get more stability, more jobs, that is. Alright. It offers opportunities for unethical people to illegally enrich themselves, increases corruption, and it significantly increases the zone support level. So this zone is quite happy with their new factory. Now at this point it seems that these soldiers are not doing very well. And the insurgents control a number of connected zones, which I think is these two at the moment. So I'll try and help these guys out, my guys, with more airstrikes. Rapid air rotation. That also does bring with it the risk that my guys are going to get not just airstrikes in on the enemy, but also airstrikes in on civilians. It's not unheard of. Let's put it mildly. They're still not exactly winning this fight. Let's see if I can get better weapons. Significantly increases national soldiers' combat strength. They retake Gulf Mike. They're almost kicking out my guys. Now I'm going to have this group deployed over here, so they can deploy both squads there. Now what's also happening is that my reputation is going down, because more and more sectors are being taken over by the insurgencies. So what I need to do is push back as quickly as possible. And here we go. An airstrike hits civilians in Gulf Mike. I got 3 options. I can say, uh-oh, I'm sorry, I pay compensation and conduct an internal review. Slightly decrease the support level. I can say cover up, and there's a 2% chance that the cover up fails. So this is actually a really cheap way of doing it. Or I can say, no, I'm going to downplay it, and there's an 85% chance that I'll increase corruption, and a 13% chance that there's international anger. I'm just going to pony up to my mistake and say, sorry, that was my jet, and I just didn't exactly get the bombs on target. Let's put it like that. Alright, let's see how the region's doing. They want water. I'm still training one more squad, but I think I might need another. Let's get the 4th squad. Oh, the 4th squad's already training. My bad. Anti-IED vehicles. Provide national soldiers with heavily armored vehicles, such as MRAPs, to better protect them against ambushes and improved explosive devices. Significantly increases combat strength. What I think might be more useful is either civil support or security checkpoints. But let's go for civil support. Or, no, this one, combat reinforcements. Because this is going to make sure that the garrison over here can again support this group here. Now, stability here is growing quite nicely. This one's not entirely stable yet. Uh-oh, insurgent camp in Gulf Tango over here. They need better water. So let's get them better water expansion. And I'll also invest in a little bit... or actually, no, I'm going to have to find corruption. Fast. Because so far corruption's at 63%, and I'm not exactly seeing it go down either. My guys are taking down this terrorist camp. And the insurgents are now being pushed back. Alright, now I can push in here. And this squad is then going to get assistance from these other 2. Insurgent activity impacting your reputation. It's currently at 47%, and let's say it's just not going up. Insurgent camp destroyed. Good. I still need to take back this sector from them. As you can see, bottom right side, I have 16 insurgent fighters. And I still need to make sure that that does not get out of control. There is another garrison suggestion, and I will accept it. so that I have another garrison over there. Alright, they're actively pushing in here. That's very bold. Very bold. And it looks like we're kicking them out there. Now, I wonder which way they're gonna go. Ideally, I'd flush them north. Make sure that they get across the river. I might, however, have an opportunity to kill them. Anti-corruption teams are getting overwhelmed. Oh, great. I need to fix that. What I can do is unlock Anti-Corruption 4 and then start making arrests. Corruption Purge. Provides a one-time decrease in corruption risk and a significant temporary decrease in corruption. Go. Now, I have an opportunity here. Because what's going to happen is that the insurgents are now in this sector. I can deploy this squad over here. And then I have them surrounded. 1, 2, 3. They cannot cross the river here. Then I drop in the 4th soldier squad right there. And they immediately get stuck. And they will be wiped out. Which is going to make the regions a little bit more stable. And I hope decrease that reputation loss that I'm constantly suffering. What I can also help my military get is national travel logistics. And that makes movement speed faster. Alright, they're almost there. Deployed. And now I'm going to push these guys right in here. They're looking. And they're going to get support from every side. Look at that. This is going to be over very fast. There. I wiped out a lot of insurgents in Charlie Romeo. What do we have here? Foreign rival is supporting insurgents. Oh, lovely. I can counter-strike, which gets an 82% that, or 82% chance that the rival slightly cut support, or I can just publicly accuse them. This is not going to work. There's a 100% chance for an accusation backfire. I will counter-strike, though. Damage diplomatic relations. Great. But at least I got a decrease in insurgent capability. Now it's time for that PR office. Or that, what was it, Foreign Relations office, but I cannot afford it. There's another terrorist camp in there, a rebel base. Time to dismantle that quickly. This squad I want over here. This squad I want over there. Because I want them out of this area here. Come on, get rid of that base. Uh-oh, surprise attack in Charlie Yankee. A new group has been detected, and they came from a nearby insurgent base. Yeah, that would be that one. Okay, change of plans. I want you guys here. I want you guys here. I want you guys here. And I might be able to push in, but it won't be easy. Unofficial contact with insurgent leaders. I have an opportunity to establish contact. I can try to talk, but there is a guarantee that they refuse to talk. I can just delay, or I can threaten them. And this will gain me reputation. The insurgents will be antagonized and the capability slightly increased. Go for it. Fight me. Now this area is going to be a little harder to push into. Because they have multiple opportunities to get out. They can get out there, here, here, and here. And I only have 4 soldier squads, so I'm going to deploy coalition soldiers. And make sure that I can deploy these guys and fight those rebels. Oh, there's another insurgent camp there. Okay, fight it. Being supported from all sides. This area is now also stable. Let's see, what do the regions need? They want more jobs. Really? Still? Okay. Provides more jobs. Agricultural logistics. And I can then also get export agencies. Provides more jobs. Alright, this area seems stable enough. Coalition soldiers are unable to find any targets. Let's have them charge that area. And then this group can support here. This group can support from here, and this group can support there. They're slowly pushing everybody east. Reputation is still 43, but at least the stability is at 46. And they're pushing in here. Okay, we just flushed them into the mountains, right into the coalition troops. Looks like this is not exactly going well. Uh-oh. They need to update the rules of engagements. There is too great a risk of civilian deaths. I'm going to tighten the rules. Airstrikes may not be carried out if there is a more than 38% chance of civilian casualties, which I still think is really high. Let's not have them do that. Alright, what else can I do? Precision munitions. Decrease the risk of civilian casualties. Let's do that instead. Making sure that these airstrikes at least are not going to take down that many people. Well, hopefully. I want you here, I want you here, I want you here. I want you there. Everybody moves up. What's this? Contact re-established with insurgent leaders. I'm once again going to threaten them. Insurgents are increasingly dangerous. Great. Now what I can also have my soldiers do is quickly deploy additional initiatives with civil assistance. Soldiers help roll out initiatives and increase support level. And on top of that, more precision munitions, so I don't hit civilians. Now these signs over here means that these guys are helping out. Foreign rival supporting insurgents again. This time it's going to cost me 10. Do it. We're fighting insurgents over there. The problem is that they might push here into a stable region. I don't want to see that happening. Yeah, that's a perfect spot for a garrison. I want you guys over here, actually. This is a remote area. Maybe if I use the government and use the remote outreach, it's going to deploy those initiatives a little faster and stabilize the region faster. And as finally my soldiers are winning here. The big question is where are they going to go? Looks like they might be going right. Farmers celebrate booming wheat yields. Nice. Well done to the farmers. Okay, these guys are being flushed west. That is really what I was hoping for. Because now I can once again pincer them. I can have this squad stay here. I can have this squad... this is not connected. I can have this squad over there. And I can then have this squad push in. Over here, new museum proposed. They want to build a museum to celebrate historical and cultural importance. I can approve. Just slightly increase support level. Slightly increase support level for 5. I think I can have some corruption. Okay, it didn't happen. That's good. Over here, the soldiers are helping out as much as they can. Contact re-established. Now they really want to talk. Let's talk. And it's going to go faster if they feel threatened. What you can also see here now is the peace bar. If this fills up entirely, the insurgents are going to lay down their arms. And with that, I will win. Or at least it's going to be easier to stabilize the regions. Political participation. A key theme is how the insurgents would participate politically in the future. What should I offer? I can have them govern. Yeah, right. I can have them set up a party. No thank you. Or I can just have them banned. You are not going to be in government. Period. Push in. And relocate. No, actually hold. They're all being flushed here. Once they're here, they have nowhere to go. And the more I threaten them, the more they're willing to talk. Decommissioning. They can have all their weapons, they can hand in their heavy weapons, or they can hand in everything. You can hand in everything. This is my region now. Uh-oh. They're attacking that region. That's not what I was expecting. At this point, this group will win. That should cause a lot of the insurgents to go. There we go. We just wiped out 12. Transitional justice. I can give them full amnesty and lose reputation. I can imprison them, or I can imprison them all. Well, they started blowing up my infrastructure. They're gonna get fucked. Okay, I need to try and contain this region here. Because I don't like these fuckers trying to destroy everything I've been building up. Let's see, what else do I need to do for my regions? I can get them more core healthcare, more infrastructure, telecommunications, roads. That should keep my initiatives busy. Next, future coalition presence. I can have all international presence withdrawn and lose reputation. I can have most forces withdrawn and lose a little bit of reputation. Or I can say, no, I will stay as long as I want. I'm going to say I will withdraw most. That does come at a cost of some reputation. Women's rights laws proposed. New laws are being proposed to improve women's rights and come closer to meeting international equality standards. Will city integrity back the reforms? I can say no. I'm not backing this, which has a 60% chance of causing international anger. I can say sure, gradually, or I can say yes, we're doing this. I gain for reputation. There's a 14% chance of a conservative backlash, which I think I can survive. Oh great, they're fighting here again. And there's another rebel camp being established here. Victim reparations. What are we going to do about the victims? I can say, I'm sorry. Yeah, right. The government's going to apologize. I can have both sides apologize, or I can have the insurgents apologize. They did something wrong. They started destabilizing the area. All I did was trying to support everybody. Give them fresh drinking water, education, make sure they stay fed. Yeah. No, I'm not saying sorry about that. Military, get me more airstrikes. And faster airstrikes. Local carpets hit international markets. That might very well be that carpet factory that I approved previous. Reputation significantly reduced by the fall of Yankee Charlie. Coalition soldiers, fix that. Let's get everybody to assist here. Nope, you're not leaving. Oh, they're everywhere now. Their willingness to talk is going down. Although I'm trying to pressure them as much as possible. There we go, now we're pushing back. Peace negotiations complete. I can sign it. I can demand concessions to have a better deal. Or I can just flat out reject it. This significantly antagonizes. I'm going to say no. I am pretty close to pushing the AI out, these insurgencies. So I'm going to say demand concessions. That will piss them off a little bit, but soon there won't be a lot of people left to piss off at this rate. Alright, I want you here. I want you here. What do the zones need? Power. The entire region over here needs power. That I can provide. I can provide electricities 1 and 2. Now at this point they have managed to get themselves trapped in the corner of the map. And they have nowhere to go. If they run here, they're going to get countered. If they run here, they're going to get countered. And if they run here, they're going to get countered as well. So we're going to fight. Everybody's going to support. And you're going to see probably about 9 of these guys disappear. 10, actually. There's only 2 of them left. Coalition soldiers tour of duty over. I'll send these guys home. And over here, we probably got a better deal. And I'm going to say yes, now I'll accept it. Significantly easier to stabilize the region. The process to disband 2 insurgents reduces your reputation by 2. And they are controlling 1. Taking over these zones reduces your reputation by 6. So I did get a little bit of a reduction in reputation, but stability is now going up in leaps. Once you have the insurgencies under control, you basically won the game. In Plague Inc., I think it would be similar to you have won, or you've infected everybody. That's pretty much it. I just need a little bit more and 100% stability. Map complete. Victory. Operation City Integrity successfully stabilized the whole region in 2013 by signing a peace deal with the insurgents. People have hope for the future. That is good. And I also have hope for the future of this game. The other maps are definitely quite challenging. I definitely have not gotten through all of them. And I think it could be a very interesting game, also with the campaign. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. I'll put the Steam link down below in the description as well, so you can have a look at the game yourself. I do recommend it. I like it. It's good. It does offer challenges. It makes you think about how difficult it is to stabilize a region. And it can really have you play catch and mouse with all of the insurgents. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying the game so far. Let me know if you want to see more of it down below in the comments. And I shall see you guys soon for more videos.